Did you know a third of all attendances to the emergency department actually are caused by something going on in the digestive system? I kid you not. And I think this is an area where people often feel a little bit dissatisfied with their attendance. And it's not because anyone's done anything wrong. It's just that after we've ruled out all the emergencies, we tend to go, oh, pop and see your GP. And it's just because there's nothing else that we can do for you in the emergency department. But there is stuff that we can do from a natural perspective. And I so wish I could relay all this to my patients, but I can't. So I'm putting it all in this podcast. So my name is Dr. Hélène. I'm an emergency medicine doctor and a vet certified animal aromatherapy specialist and a dog behaviorist. And this show is for people who want to look after their own health and the health of their pets. And we talk about everything from gut health and stiff joints to the power of essential oils and finding your daily calm. And I use my experience in human and animal wellness to give you the tools you need to help you and your dog feel your best at both ends of the lead. Now, if you like what you're listening to, please hit the follow or the subscribe button. And if you're interested in getting any of the things that I'm mentioning in this, please just check the show notes. And I'll also link to my blog, which goes into this topic in a bit more detail as well. So when we're talking about digestion, it all starts in the mouth. And if we haven't got good oral hygiene, it's actually going to take bacteria down deeper into our body and cause us problems. So a couple of really easy tips for you. Using the beautiful doTERRA blend On Guard. This is lovely. It's got oils in there such as wild orange and clove and cinnamon. And it smells amazing. But super simple. Just add a drop to your toothpaste before you brush your teeth. Or after brushing your teeth, add a drop to water and just swirl your mouth out. The oils in here can help disrupt the biofilm, which can cause problems in your mouth. So just something really easy. Now, doTERRA also do a really nice toothpaste as well, which has got hydroxyapatite in. And that has been found to help with remineralizing the teeth. So that helps keep the enamel healthy. And so again, something that's really easy. Just changing up your dental hygiene can actually make such a massive difference. Now, it's not just the entry point, it's also the place that about 40% of digestion actually starts as well. So 30% is mechanical from our chewing. How many of us actually don't chew enough? We need to embrace more mindful eating, so we are chewing. We also release a digestive enzyme in our mouth as well, salivary amylase, which helps break down carbohydrate, and that supports about 10% of digestion. So actually, if we're not taking the time to chew, we're not breaking our food down, and that can cause problems further on down in the stomach. Now, after we've chewed nicely and our food started to digest, it goes down the esophagus, and there's a little valve at the bottom of the esophagus as well that goes into the stomach, and this stops the stomach acid coming back out. And the valve in the stomach can cause problems sometimes, particularly if you have been maybe drinking a lot of fizzy drinks, or you eat a lot of spicy foods, or perhaps you're overweight or pregnant. And the valve can get a little bit lax, and then that can mean the stomach acid can go up into the esophagus and cause you some discomfort. So something that I'm going to just share with you is, do not use peppermint oil here, okay? It's very tempting to think, oh, peppermint oil, but actually it can make that sphincter more relaxed. So what you want to use, actually, we've got a beautiful blend called Zengest. This has got peppermint in, but it's very dilute, but it's actually got cardamom, fennel, and ginger, and it's just lovely. And just adding a drop to some hot or cold water can actually help dampen down all that discomfort and just help you feeling better. Now, one of my beautiful colleagues from work came to see me, very heavily pregnant, was having some discomfort in that area, and said, have you got anything I can try? Because they were actually taking, I think it was half a bottle of Gaviscon every single day. So I said, well, try a bit of this. And she came and saw me the next day, and because I hadn't seen her the rest of the shift, and she said, oh my goodness, that was amazing. It helped. So little things can actually make such a massive difference. Now, when we actually get down to the stomach, we've got all this acid in there that it helps break the food down. And again, if we've not been digesting properly, or, you know, we're getting quite stressed, it can upset everything, and we can get disruption to the mucosal layer that's in the stomach as well. And there's also a bacteria called H. pylori, which can contribute that. So that is something you might want to go and take a stool sample to your GP to check for that particular bacteria. Now, the digestion in the stomach, if you have got some disruption to the mucosal layer that's causing you problems, you do not want to be taking digestive enzymes here, because that can also cause more of a problem. Now, if that isn't an issue that you have, but it's more to do with actually your food not digesting well, because maybe you're wolfing your food down, and what can happen in your stomach is that actually the food can start to ferment, and it causes you a lot of discomfort, it causes you the bloating and everything, then digestive enzymes can be very beneficial. And these are the ones that I like, the Pterozyme. They've actually got 10 different enzymes in here that can help break things down. So such as lactase, gluten, and also, you know, we all need to eat more beans. But how many of you eat beans and then have very unpleasant side effects? This has got the enzyme in that's going to help break those beans down, so it's just going to be massively better. So this is going to be really useful for you. And one of the things I do as well, because I'm a runner, and actually there's a thing called runner's poo, and what it is people need to as soon as they start running, they have this need to defecate. And actually I have found that taking digestive enzymes at night before a big run, or before I ran the London not the London Marathon, the Manchester Marathon. I have run the London Marathon, but this year it's the Manchester one. It can actually help. I make sure I poo before I run, so they're really helpful for getting everything moving. But they're going to help with the digestion. Now, other things to support the stomach are, again, our beautiful Zengest. This is another great one. Again, use here, and again, some hot water or cold water after your meal is just going to soothe that stomach. Now, as we progress through the stomach, we go into the small intestines, and this is where 90% of absorption actually happens. And again, the digestive enzymes are useful here as well, because if we are perhaps under some stress, or we're not eating properly, or perhaps we're on things, some medication that perhaps damps down the stomach acids, such as things like omeprazole, that can mean that our food actually isn't digested properly. So that's going to actually affect our nutrient absorption. So that's where the digestive enzymes can come in place there as well and be really useful for you. Now, beyond digestive enzymes, the small intestine is actually has trillions of beneficial bacteria as well. So this is your microbiome. So this is an ecosystem that supports everything from your immune system to your daily mood. Something like, depending what literature you read, actually up to 90% of serotonin is actually made in the gut, and it supports 70% of our immune system is actually from our gut as well. So it's really important that you have you take great care with your microbiome, and many different things can disrupt it. Sometimes you know, if you're on antibiotics, it's getting rid of the bad bacteria, but it's also getting rid of the good bacteria as well. And then, of course, our stress, because what goes on in our brain affects our stomach. So how many of you have been so stressed that you actually get a bit of an upset tummy, or you get constipated? And that's all the part of the fight or flight system. So you hold on to things because you're stressed, because you're running away from that saber-toothed tiger, and your body doesn't know when it's going to get its next meal. So really important to support the microbiome. And a couple of my favorite products are a beautiful probiotic called PB Restore. This has got actually 30 different bacteria in, and it's in a double chambered capsule. So that it doesn't get broken down by the stomach acid, and it actually goes into the small intestine where it's needed. And this is a big problem if you're using things that are sort of probiotics, such as beautiful kefir or kombucha. They're great, but a lot of the beneficial bacteria is going to be broken down by the stomach acid and not actually going to get into the small intestine, whereas these capsules are. Now, we also have another one. I haven't got any capsules because I've used them up and waiting for them to arrive, but we've also got another one called PB Restore, PB Assist, which is a little micro ones. I think they're like a bit of sort of sherbet, almost like a sherbet dib dab or something, but they've got tiny little they're almost like little beads, and you just can take those or swirl them onto the yogurt, and they taste really, really nice. And again, that's micro encapsulated, so the bacteria that you want is getting right into the small intestine, and that's got 30 different bacteria in there. So the combination of the two has 43 different bacteria to support your microbiome. So really, really crucial there. Now, dogs, if they can swallow capsules, can have PB Restore, but they can't have that PB Assist because it's got xylitol in, so just something to be aware of. Now, sometimes the digestive system can obviously feel stuck, or it can feel a bit uncomfortable, or sort of a bit of cramping that might make you want to sort of curl up. You know that feeling. Particularly, I think if you're working shifts. I know a lot of my colleagues at 3 a.m, and certainly something as well that when I was a flight attendant, I would experience on night flights, and I'd also always remedy that with some hot water. But actually, if we had a beautiful Zengest now, I could just pop some Zengest in, and that's something that I do. My colleagues always want at sort of 3 or 4 a.m, because it can just help relax everything. And this is where peppermint can be used as well. It can just get everything moving and, you know, get everything relaxed, so that we haven't got that uncomfortable feeling where, you know, the food's fermenting in there and everything's just relaxing a bit more. So it can be really nice. And you can put either the peppermint or the Zengest in water, hot or cold, or just apply it with carrier oil to your tummy, and that can be really beneficial. And honestly, I'm not kidding, it's so effective. So I had I think it was last Friday, I had wolfed down a biscuit after a salad. It was not a good combination, and I started to feel, oh my goodness, I've got to do this Q&A, and my stomach felt, well, it wasn't my stomach, it was my whole abdomen just felt really uncomfortable. And I literally got a couple of drops of Zengest, applied it to my tummy, put some carrier oil over the top, and literally by the time I went from downstairs up here, logged into my system, I was comfortable. And that's how effective it can actually be. So let's go on to the large intestine. So this is where all our poo collects, and actually water goes from the large intestine back into the body, so it absorbs all the water. Now, if we're not drinking enough water, we actually can be constipated, really, and so it's important to be mindful of that, and we really need to drink more water. So adding some citrus oil such as lemon or wild orange can be so beneficial here to just keep us hydrated. And of course, our beautiful Zengest after meals is going to help with that. We also need more fiber. Really important, more fiber. The majority of people only have about 5 to 7 grams of fiber a day, and we actually need 30 grams a day to keep us in good health. Now, something I always hear from the carnivore community or the keto community, oh, there's absolutely no evidence that fiber helps prevent bowel cancer. That's actually not true at all. So it was true in 2003, a Cochrane review found that there was no beneficial benefit from taking fiber. So I'm just getting mugged by my cat. If you're listening, then you won't see my beautiful cat Holly. Found no benefit from taking fiber. But 8 years later, the EPIC study, which was a huge study in 10 European countries with over 520,000 participants, found that for every 10 gram increase in fiber was a 10% decrease in bowel cancer. So adding in fiber is absolutely crucial, and you know, adding more fruit and veg to your diet is absolutely key. And you know, you should be having every day greens, beans, onions, berries, mushrooms. So I've done it wrong, it's G-bombs, greens, beans, you're distracting me, Holly, onions, mushrooms, berries and seeds. And if you can keep all that in your diet every day, you'll be getting some good amounts of fiber and loads of different benefits. Now, if you are saying to me, well, you know what, I can't manage beans, that's when your digestive enzymes come in place, because it's got that enzyme in that can actually help break down beans so you don't get any of those nasty side effects. Now, if you are adding in all that extra fiber, you must make sure you're adding in extra water as well, because the fiber is going to suck the water out as well. So you're taking all that extra fiber, but you could still be constipated because you're not got enough water. So more fiber and more water to keep things moving. And again, this is where the Zengest can help with things as well, and the peppermint. So whether you are rubbing it on your tummy or you're taking it internally with some water, it can be so helpful. Now, I've got a bit of a funny story to tell you about my beautiful elderly cat. He was very constipated. He started looking a little bit uncomfortable, and I'd gone to the vet and they'd given me some lactulose, and I was giving it to him and it didn't help at all. I even tried a little sliver of glycerin suppository up his bottom, which was not easy, but nothing was shifting. So I popped a little bit of Zengest in his food. Now, normally you don't need to give cats any oils internally. You can give the ones to dogs that are safe for internal use, but he didn't groom himself that much because he was elderly. So I just stuck a little toothpick in the orifice there and just swirled it around in his food. And the next day I came down and he'd had this massive bowel emptying, which was brilliant. He was comfortable. I did have a little bit of washing to do, but that's okay. He was very comfortable, and it just worked so brilliantly to just relax everything in his gut. Now, one of the things as well is it's all very well using all our beautiful natural remedies, but we need to remember, and this is a lovely quote from Dr. Eric Zielinski, who says, you can't live a fast food lifestyle and expect essential oils to fix everything. So remember, oils are your allies, but your daily habits, the water you drink, the fiber you eat, all your fruit and veg, and the enzymes you supplement are the foundation of your health. So if you take care of everything from your mouth down to where you poo, you are going to be feeling so much better and hopefully keep you out of the emergency department. Now, just a few little sort of points to make out. If you are having anything new that you're not sure what you're sure about, if it's a very sharp pain or chest pain or anything like that, please do go and get yourself checked out first of all. Anything that's unusual, you should always attend the emergency department first. We would rather see you and go, no, you're okay, than see you when it's too late. So if you are getting anything that's you're not sure what that is, it's something a bit new, then do go and get yourself checked out. Now, if you've got any questions, do obviously pop them in the show notes. I will link to my blog, which has got more information, and some of the products I've linked as well in the show notes. And don't forget to follow or subscribe. And I will see you on the next show. Stay safe, stay well. Bye.